ice in the game like a free throw. I love when she talking the lingo. Wanna fuck on the freako. She says she bringing the Tito's. We hacking the game like a Chico. I'm a monster, it's time for the beast mode. Cracking your skulls like Debo. Straight to the strip, all singles. They peeping straight through the peephole. You a lame, you a dork, a bimbo. If you're in need of a fitness coach, check out my boy Josh. His personal Instagram as well as his fitness coach page is down below. And as well, check out his website as well too, as he has encouragement. He has his appointments and memberships online as well too. Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. It's your boy Twan. We back. It's episode 2. We about to get it started. To start off things, y'all see the shirt again. Go Warriors. It's Go Warriors till the preseason starts. So you already know what it is. If you're gonna be upset, you're gonna be upset. But that's where we're at. First off, NBA preseason does start on September 30th, and they're pushing it to October 8th, so that's going to be pretty fun to see what's going on during the preseason. They even stated that the Warriors and Wizards are playing their preseason game in Japan, and then the Bucks and Hawks are going to be playing the preseason game in Abu Dhabi. So for the preseason, how I feel about the NBA preseason, I just want to tackle on some topics. Such as what do I hope for or hope to see from the NBA preseason, whether that be matchups, or duos, or team chemistry. I'm just curious to see how the Lakers lineups and rotations are going to be now that they just got Dennis Schroeder. On top of the fact they just got Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn is coming back, and we still got Russell Westbrook. So the whole Laker guard positions right now is looking kind of up in the air right now because, potentially all 4 of those players could be starting any other team outside of the Lakers. Who's going to start over Russ, or if Russ is starting, where's Dennis or Pat Bev following this, and then you still got Kendrick Nunn. On top of the fact that, most people do forget, they do got Austin Reeves as well as a guard too. So a lot of things in reports I've been reading, they're stating that some players that we thought would be playing the point guard position may be playing the two guard spot. So really the preseason for me is seeing how the Lakers is going to go ahead and start their lineups and kind of see, following along how they're going to do throughout the season as well. But the guards is one of the biggest things I want to see from the preseason for the Lakers. I'm excited to see what's up with Trae Young and Dejounte Murray. That's going to, give Trae Young some wiggle room to be able to move a little bit more freely. Now that he has a 2 guard where he doesn't have to fight back on defense and play defense now. You got Dejounte Murray at your side. And the fact that, you got a really good slasher and somebody that can dictate the way how things are going on the floor as well, too. So Trae Young and Dejounte Murray would be fun to watch. I want to see how that works out during the preseason early. And then lastly, just for team chemistry, one thing I want to see is this new chemistry with Cleveland. Now with this Donovan Mitchell thing, I'm just going to list a few players that's on their team right now, including Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio, Evan Mobley, K-Love, Jarrett Allen, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert. We still got Osman. Cleveland is going to be a fun team to watch, regardless. So I just want to see how that chemistry flows in with Donovan Mitchell's playing, because they all can get to the basket, they all can defend, and the East is already looking pretty stacked. But now that you got Cleveland looking this pretty dominant, that's going to be fun to watch as well for me. So I will have to say Cleveland for the team chemistry. Going over some NBA predictions. These are my predictions, award predictions I think may happen, potentially happen, and we'll see, as the season goes on. But to start it off, I want to talk about the MVP award. That's going to be pretty tough because, for one, I can't really say one player because there's so many dominant players right now that could get the MVP award. But my 3 that I would have to go with is going to be Luka. Luka's definitely showed us what he can do. This last playoffs, he gave the Warriors a run. The biggest factor with Dallas not moving forward was just having maybe 1 or 2 other pieces to push Luka into that position. But Luka does everything. The man does everything on the floor. So he's one of my votes that's going to go for MVP. I will have to include Giannis. The whole playoff wins with Boston. Giannis was just a few games behind as well, making it to the finals, on a back-to-back finals. So Giannis I know he's going to do everything he can to go ahead and push that ball back and put their teams back in that championship team as well as 2. So I really got Giannis going for 2. And then if I had to pick a 3rd, I'm excited to see what Joel Embiid could do. He's definitely another guy that I believe definitely can win an MVP award as well. James there now to kind of see how he can open up the floor a bit, but that's going to put Joel in a better position to show, to showcase his skills and showcase what he can do on the offensive and defensive floor. So for Coach of the Year, I'm looking at the Celtics coach Ime Udoka. I may even pronounce that wrong. I don't know how to say it, but the Celtics coach. Just watching really the whole series for Boston, their playoffs run. The first round, you sweep Brooklyn the first round, then you go on to play Giannis and force them to a Game 7 and pull that through, and then you push the best defensive team out of the East. You push them to a Game 7 as well to push them to make it into the finals to play against the Golden State and put them in the position that they were. Yes, you got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Smart and some other pieces around, but it was our coach that got them there to that position. So I expect some better things from Boston to see with going into this next season. He may be in a run definitely for Coach of the Year, just for seeing what he can do with the players he has and knowing the competition that's around there out of the East now. I think he should definitely be in conversation for that. For Sixth Man of the Year, I will have to say my boy Jordan Poole. He's very crafty, can shoot, and he definitely just fits in with the Warriors system. But I'm really seeing a lot of minutes coming out of Jordan Poole with the Warriors. They're going to expect a lot out of him, especially from what they just seen from this past season. Steph, we have Clay. They're going to be playing big minutes, but I know they're going to give a little bit more to Jordan Poole coming off the bench. So even if he's not in that starting position, I think him, exceeding and being successful out of that six-man role is going to put him in position to make it to that six-man award. And I think rightfully so. I mean, the guy is great. Moving forward to most improved, that one's kind of tough because, there's a lot of players can improve their numbers in all different areas. But I would like to see, if there was to be somebody, or maybe if I pick two, I would like to see Anthony Edwards go ahead and show everybody what he's capable of doing as well. And that would either be Anthony Edwards or Scotty Barnes for most improved. So I think that may be a battle for both of them to see how much they've improved. Scotty Barnes, just being a 2-year now, he's already solidified a spot with the Toronto Raptors. And then Anthony, the team's about to look a lot better. So, he talks the talk and he definitely can walk the walk. So we're just going to see if he can go ahead and blossom, and if it's going to be a season where he's going to showcase everything he's been taught. And then lastly, for Rookie of the Year, I would have to say Paolo Banchero. I think that if he can put Orlando even just over 40 games, just winning 40 games, that has to put him in conversation to win for Rookie of the Year. Great talent, great size, can do everything, and is a very, very team player oriented guy. I'm excited to see what they're going to do for Orlando. Orlando hasn't been, that much exciting for a little while, but having them there now is going to put them in conversation to be a little bit that much better than they were the years prior to. But he's a great talent, so I'm hoping to see he'll make it to that Rookie of the Year column. I just want to go ahead and go for seeding. What I may think potentially 1 through 8 playoffs for East and West, no order, who I think may make it to the playoffs. This is even after including the play-in game. So I will start off with the West. I'm just going to break it down from no order from 1st through 3rd, 4th and 5th, and then 6th through 8. So for the top 3 spots for the West, I'm looking at Phoenix, the Warriors, and Clippers. Phoenix, what they've been able to show, they're going to be a top team on the West every year. If they're going to keep the same players base and the same coaching staff, why wouldn't they be back at the first 3 spots? So definitely go with that. I have to say the Warriors because they're going to be the defending champs. They're going to have to be able to show themselves that they can be still at the top level of the West, and they definitely need to defend their title. So, and lastly, I would have to say the Clippers. Now that you have John Wall, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, I just feel like this is going to be a dominant team. They may be one of the best teams out of the West. And now with all of them being back healthy, John Wall is going to be more hungry than he ever has been. And Kawhi's always been a solid player. So I really think that the Clippers are going to be a really tough team to beat out of the West. And I don't see why they would be anywhere under the 1st through 3rd spot out of the West. For 4 and 5, I'm looking at either Dallas, and I'm going to have to go with Denver Nuggets now because, Jamal Murray's back. They can kind of keep some things around, Joker, keeping them happy and everything like that. They're going to be right back where they were before. And, Joker did that whole thing without Jamal Murray at all. What Joker did with the players that he had with him, and making it to at least, to a spot to making it to the playoffs. It was tough for him to even make it past, that first round against the Warriors. But he definitely showed that he's capable. So they need their point guard back. So with Jamal Murray coming back, I'm really thinking that they're going to be in that middle seeding for the West playoffs. And then for the last 3 spots, I still think Memphis is a great young team that's going to be hungry and still want to prove a lot of people wrong that they should be winners, which that's another conversation for another day. But I do think that Memphis is going to find themselves at the bottom 6-8. I'm also looking at Minnesota now with the Rudy Gobert teaming up with Cat, and you got Ant, D'Lo. That's going to be a fun team to watch. They're going to be exciting. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be a very defensive-oriented team too as well, and they're putting Cat in a position to where he can score a little bit more in the off that 4 block. So they're looking pretty great. And I'm praying and hoping the Lakers can make it to that final 8 spot. Who knows how that's going to be? I know it's been a trial and error few seasons for the Lakers. So I know as much as, we can talk as bad as we can about the Lakers. I mean, LeBron's still going to be LeBron. So we can't just put them out and count them out. So I'm really hoping that they can go ahead and find that 6th to 8th spot as well. And then just to flip over now, we're going to go to the East, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Out of the East, I'm thinking Boston Celtics, rightfully so. They're a great team. I know they just picked up Brogdon, but they're a pretty well-rounded team. So they have a lot of pieces going into the season, and they have a lot to prove as well too. But not only have y'all just did what you guys did in the playoffs, but if you guys can repeat that same routine of what you guys were doing the season before, they would be first, second, or third. Yeah, so I'm also thinking that Milwaukee Bucks are going to be there as well. Knowing that, the East is looking a little bit more deep, but I think Milwaukee can find themselves back that top 3 spot. And then lastly, I would just have to put Philly. I'm really hoping that Joel and James Harden does find a little connection. I think now that, they're going into the offseason, they got the offseason time to go ahead and figure some things out, figure out a better system, and I'm thinking that they're going to be great. James Harden, Joel Embiid, man, that's really a first 3 type team, so out of the East. So they're going to be a team to beat as well. 4-5 spot, I'm looking at Chicago. With DeRozan, Lonzo, Caruso. That's going to be fun. And I'm also going to say Miami as well, because Miami, they have showed that they're a defensive team. They definitely know what they can do with Jimmy Butler being as their leader. And they already got some great shooters around, some young shooters still around them that they can go ahead and find their ways back into that the middle seating. I know they finished out first last season before, but I think it would be respectfully put them at that 4 or 5 spot. It's still fine. If they do find themselves back at the Eastern Conference Finals, they still can do it no matter the seeding that they're at. So that bottom 6, 7, 8 for the playoffs, I'm thinking I'm going to have to put Cleveland there. I really think Cleveland's going to do some great things with the new team that they have now. I'm also going to have to put Atlanta, because I really think Trae Young and Dejounte Murray can position themselves to be a pretty decent team coming out of the East as well. This is even after play-in games, if they need to fight their way in, they can definitely get there. And I will have to say Brooklyn, not to say that they would be the 8th, 6 or 7, 8. I would like for them to surprise me. They can make it through the first 4. 1 through 4s, but Brooklyn, they got a lot to show. They got a lot to see. They got to. We need to see them back in a healthy mindset. Having no injuries, and making sure that any mental game, anything that's distracting them from worrying about what's internally going on in Brooklyn, man, they need to just go ahead and figure it out so they can position themselves. I mean, a team with Kyrie, KD, and now Ben Simmons, I don't see why y'all shouldn't be in the playoffs. I don't know if it's disrespectful to even put them not even in the first 4. They haven't got it together yet. It's nothing about the talent they have individually. They just need to show that they can work as a team and play together as a team. So I'm hoping Steve Nash can figure something out for Brooklyn as well too. And lastly, what teams are a must-watch? I'm definitely going to have to say the Lakers. The Lakers are going to have to show us, hey, are y'all going to repeat what you guys have been having these previous few seasons, or are y'all going to go ahead and be the Laker dynasty that y'all were once? To have these great players all together and not make it that far, we need to know what's going on. So I definitely know that a lot of people will be tuned in. A lot of scrutiny will happen to the Lakers with all their new changes and rotations they're going to be having. So the Lakers are going to be a must watch. Biasly, I'm definitely going to be watching the Warriors and Memphis matchups. I know that the Memphis boys feel like they deserve to be in the finals due with Ja Morant's injury. That's here or there, but the Warriors pulled out through. But I think they would have forced the Game 7, but I don't know if they would have tipped over, in favor of Memphis winning out of that series. But I think that's a new rivalry that I'm excited to watch now. These young boys want it, and they want it bad. So that's only going to make the Warriors more, put them in a position to want to play even more too. So I know all those games are going to be great to watch. A healthy Brooklyn team. So I need to watch them as much as I can to see if KD and Kyrie can go in and work together and get this figured out. A healthy Clippers team. John Wall is back now in the league. And then we got Kawhi Leonard, who, the man is unstoppable just by himself. So, and then lastly, just really just seeing if Boston can find their way back. They surprised me. Last season in the finals, they surprised me. So I'm hoping to see them back if I can. Warriors and Celtics, that's one that I would be even more nervous about, because they got the experience now. They got the right players, the right pieces. And I think this is an opportunity for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, put them in a position where they're like, okay, I know what it's like. I want that same feeling back. So I don't expect to see any less from Boston. So I'm excited to see that as well too. Like I said, next week I believe we do have the first preseason game. So I will probably do a podcast right beforehand, just to kind of see what the teams who's playing. Probably going to do is go ahead and do an every Thursday posting. Going forward, I will go in and start having some guest appearance for my show. So stay tuned as well for that as well. And those that are in the National Creed Association League, I will be doing an update real soon about that too. So just give me a second, and we're going to run and get that set up for the league. So I will be posting my updates on here as well. And obviously in our group message, but on the podcast as well. But yeah, every Thursday, just tune in. Thank you guys for watching episode 2. It's your boy. We out.